goldfish rattled and grew still.
შემოხდება რაღაც შემოღება. გამარჯობა მეგობრებო, ყველას. დღეს ამდენო ვიდეო მოვდევნო ვიდეოთი. და ესე იგი ეხლა მეგობრებო საბნოტიკა, მაგრამ რატომღაც თამაში არ შეერთდა და რაღაც ხარვაზე ქონდა და გამოვაწერე შემდეგში თავიდან ჩავიწერე სხვა საიტიდან. ანუ წინა ვიდეოში აქ გავჩერდით, ძალიან ბევრი რაღაცა გავიგეთ, მე მომეწონა სამაში და თან ასბლონი ხდა რომ მაგრამ
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't. Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother. The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
Sorry, გასაღები. Opa. Is there a secret room? რაღაც საიდუმლოა ამ საჭირო ოთახშია.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look.
ეს ყველაზე ბოლო ადგილზე რასაც ნახავ.
It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Oh. Sven
gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
I კიდე ერთი ოთახი ხო, აი, რას ვსახსი? და ეს ის არის იმისი რომ თავის გარდასე სმას უზიარება ოთახს.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly. But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that. Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. Then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
კარონის ისტორია ძალიან ისი ყო რა ქვია. ახლოს ჩემს ისტორიას რასაც მე ვცდილობდი პატარაობაში.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
იმ რა ქვია. გარშემო შემდეგო Edie მოხშოზე დაყო თავისი ოთახი.
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
დედამ თქვა რომ ის ხომ შეგახსაო, აღარ შემოსულაო ოთახშიო. ის ის რაღაცა ეპელა კი რაღაც სინო გასულით მოვიჭრე რა ჟანზევას მაშინ ჯერა მინდა მაგის უცება ფორმის ასხოლები თუ თამაში კაი ეს არის სემის სუდა გამოგორება მაგრამ ის რა კაი ნუ ამისი კალვინის შოპია არს ამისი ნაკლები ამის უფრო იმისკენ მიიწევს რა ქვია შარისკენ და ეს უფრო კოსმოსისკენ რა კოსმონავტი
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies. Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Barbara this is America's history of Warsaw. Be my friend Bigfoot, Barbara Finch. Oh, Oscar Biak, ეს გრილი საკეთებია ის.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Happy birthday, Barbara. Akukhria, giant house. Opa. Faithful solace.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack
here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up, a has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Rick?
Nico? Programma 지금 나올 수 있겠습니다. 야와, jumpscare Moses. Rick.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
아마 이거 리기스 같았으면 우리가 거의 지나가 싸우겠구나. 리얼티 컨이 나온 거야.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
이제 올 수 있어. 잠깐만, 차. 있어. 가우스 먹으러 오래 가리 헬로윈. 다 헬로윈 썼어요. 저번에 다시 오다 기억이. 프로그램으로 뭐 들어갔어요. 없애주시라. 여러분. IS 시작합니다. 안 가시죠? 원할 수 있어요. 솔직히 가지게 생각했어요.
Walter, are you there? Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the Hookman, and was speechless. He was quite smashing.
Oi! 정신이
He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully.
망쳤어. 자기가 말을 좀 გაუჩინარდი. და გამოდის მოდის სახში.
Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned.
Here, უშენსო. Გიორგი. ოი.
He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
ის აღარ უზრუნველყოფდა, მაგრამ ის არ მოსიარს ისტორია არ გამოსი. ხასავდეს მაგ.
The bookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
ეკაქრაო, ეს ხასუქმენი. და მოწორას და იგონო იყო ეს არის ზარია.
Someone at the door was dying to speak to young Barbara. At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
უკან გაიხეზე.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
აქ მეგობრებო, მოდი აქ ხოშები გამოდიოს, რავი, მაგარი პროზი გამოვიდა. რაღაცა უსაური ისტორია გამოსახსა, რავი, შემდეგ ეპიზოდში ალბათ გავიგებთ შეგავყვეთ. პირველი იყო ოდინი, მერე იყო მოლი, კალვინი, ბარბარა და შემდეგში ალბათ სემი იქნება, ან ვოლტერი, ან ედი. ან შვენ, ხო? რავი, ხის მიხედვით მივიდივარ და ბოლოს ალბათ ჩვენზე ავალთ რა, ეს შუქონი ჩვენ ვართ. და რავი, მეგობრებო, დალექით და გამოიწეს სახი და რავი, ჩვენ შევხვდეთ მომავალ ვიდეოში.